Government names.
Government
not registered in person.
John Akubu, Fijian fullback and number 10.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just that
They know the ball started. Huh? So you can be signaling.
Yeah. Okay. Just look at me then.
I don't know that. I don't know the points that I'm saying.
No, he'll be
No,
telling you.
he'll tell you.
Episode 19, part 2 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters Podcast. Today we are shooting from an undisclosed location on Raptor Road, Westlands, and it's not Vineyard, by the way, but we are somewhere on Raptor Road in Westlands, like our safe house of the Three Quarters Podcast. We always start with our clarion call, the Road to Japan hashtag. The Kenya Simbas are about to start the qualifiers for the Rugby World Cup in Japan in 2019. They'll be taking, of course, on Germany first. Which is a test on May 27th. They then take on Uganda, Senegal, and Tunisia at home in the Rugby World Cup qualifiers. They travel to Bulawayo in Zimbabwe to take on Zimbabwe and finish off with Namibia in Windhoek. They require our support. They require a pat on the back from the Kenyan people. Therefore, jump onto the Road to Japan hashtag to support these boys, because these boys are indeed the superstars of Kenya rugby. Rugby is taking a break next week. Next week being Easter weekend, 14th to 16th. But with Easter weekend comes the Great Rift Ten-a-side Rugby Tournament in Nakuru. It's as a result of this tournament that Nakuru earned the name Nax Vegas. And therefore, the Three Quarters Podcast has teamed up with Moran Sports and Travel. Moran Sports and Travel is a sports travel-based company. Sports travel company based in Nairobi, with an aim of bringing sports to the people and sports travel to the people. Therefore, the Three Quarters Podcast has teamed up with them. We've come up with a couple of, or some good packages, not a couple of good packages, some good packages. Jarika Hotel and Waterback Hotel. Keep it on our social media platforms and all our pages to get the information on where these hotels are going to be, or where the accommodation is going to be, and the prices involved in this package. This is Ngashi Official Noisemaker.
Jeringus, Kenyana.
And we start with our first segment, Badman of the Week. And I'll let my man Gusale take over Badman of the Week.
Bad man. It was quite tough to come up with one.
Oh, yeah.
Because I wanted to say the 15s, the two fullbacks of both sides,
Yes.
Mugaisi and Ayange,
Yeah.
had a very good first half, if I may say that.
Yeah.
And the earliest contenders for me.
Yeah.
Both were running very powerfully.
Yes.
And marshalling the defenses quite well.
Yes.
And I'd also like to mention Baraza.
Yes, Nick Baraza.
Nick Baraza Cabras.
Yeah.
When he moved to 10, after
Ayange left the game. Yes.
Then Kubu moved to 15.
Yes.
Nick, his kicking it brought a lot of trouble to the back three.
Yes.
Of Homeboys, and even resulted to a try.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, actually.
His constant kicking.
Yes.
But Badman, my hand goes to John Kubu.
Yes.
The Fijian national.
Yes.
The guy was very, very mature in that game.
Yes.
You could see him marshalling when he moved to fullback.
Yes.
He was marshalling his lines quite well.
Yes.
And then his territorial kicking was just something
excellent.
Something to marvel.
Yes.
And when he trained as well, you could see guys knocking on him, Magneto hands.
Magnet.
And I don't think he even knocked a ball.
Yes.
Okay, maybe once.
Yes.
And
you remember his move at the corner and Kampizi kind of pass.
We all swallowed it.
Even our videographer. Joanna. I don't know this guy's name is, but anyway, John Kubu. And actually, by the way, he was the man of the match for the last year's Kenya final. Yeah, so I do believe, I agree with you. He was yesterday's man of the match. Takes us on to the next topic of the day, Rugby 101. Rugby 101 has been one of our constant topics throughout the podcast, out of the 19 episodes. And what we try to do with Rugby 101 is break down the game of rugby to the general public, so that you can understand, so that when you come and watch it, you know exactly what is happening.
Floating.
You don't float, exactly. So today's topic is something guys talk about through the gates, through the channel. Basically, what this means, if you remember in one of our episodes, we talked about the breakdown situation. And the breakdown situation is right in between when a person has been tackled to when the rack is formed. So when you're coming to the rack as a player, you have to come in through this channel straight. This is what's known as through the gates. You cannot approach it from the side. If you're running from the side, you have to come through this channel.
Whether you're defending
or attacking. You have to come in through this channel. So this is what is referred to as the gates. And if you watch international rugby, which normally has the mics, which is mic'd up, and even Kenya by then nowadays, you'll hear the ref calling first. It's a full penalty. So this is a full penalty, and he'll say not coming in through the gates.
Just like normal gates, you can't come through.
Exactly. You must go through the gates. So there was a joke that used to run after Richie McCaw retired, former New Zealand captain, and they're saying that McCaw is now a certified helicopter pilot because the helicopter can enter through the side.
Side entry inside.
They used to say he was very notorious for coming in from the sides. But anyway, that's our Rugby 101 topic for the day. We're going to a short topic, nothing too much. The World Rugby has confirmed that there's going to be a test in Kenya versus Germany, May 27th at the RFUEA grounds. This is going to be, by the way, like the curtain raiser for the World Cup qualifiers. So the World Rugby has confirmed that it is indeed a test on May 27th. So in line with our Road to Japan hashtag, come support the boys because this is their first outing as the Kenya Simbas. We want to also mention something very small in terms of Kenya Cup rugby. Guys, focus on Kenya Cup. You forget that there's championship and there's nationwide. Championship, Kisii RFC, Mombasa RFC. Next season we are going to be coming because the two guys who are going to be playing out for the championship final.
Yeah, they're both are in the final.
Yes.
And both teams are promoted now.
Exactly. They are promoted to the Kenya Cup. So as Western Bulls and Mean Machine
sadly leave. We're getting more guys from different parts.
Exactly. Kisii RFC, which is an affiliate by the way of Impala, and Mombasa returning to Kenya Cup. So SGR will be coming to Mombasa.
We'll pioneer the SGR.
We'll
even have a shoot on
the train itself. High school rugby. This is where, unfortunately for Kenya, this is where rugby starts as opposed to primary school.
Way before.
But the nationals are happening this year. I'll read out, this week.
This week.
This week.
Always every year.
It's always every year. Yeah, this week the nationals are going to be taking place at Nairobi School. I'll read the pools real quick, and then Gusi will tell me what you feel about the nationals. So, of course, Pool A, we have St. Mary's Yala representing Nyanza. We have Upper Hill representing Nairobi. We have Alliance High School for Central, and we have Kangaroo. Then we have Pool B, Kakamega High School, Laser Hill, Nairobi School, and Galana High School from Coast. It's good to mention that last year's champions from Ngoma High
they didn't qualify.
They didn't qualify. They were beaten by Kakamega High School. The passion is always in high school rugby.
That's so much passion.
There's so much passion. These boys are playing for nothing but pride and love of the game. How do you think it's going to play out?
I think the boys will enjoy themselves first.
Yes.
And as competitive as it always gets in nationals.
Yes.
We'll get to see our future players.
Yes.
Guys now who will be probably seeing next year in ESS.
Yes.
Some of them maybe they may break into the Kenya Cup.
Yes.
I think it will be a good tournament for them, and it's always good for these guys to be exposed to this game.
Yes.
At such a level.
Yes.
Because nationals is at a broader stage.
Yes.
What they've been playing was provincials.
Yes. Counties. Nowadays it's counties. Yes.
Provincial,
yes.
Regional.
Yes.
Regional games.
Yes.
Which are quite smaller.
Yeah.
But now it's the big stage.
Yeah.
And I think let them get used to this, kidogo.
True. I want to mention something. Save for Yala and Nairobi School and Alliance / Mangu for Central. Those are the guys we've been representing in the last 15 years. It looks like a fairly new setup.
Changed.
The game has changed.
It has really changed.
Upper Hill, Laser Hill.
Upper Hill making the nationals.
Yes. Laser Hill.
Laser Hill.
Yes.
Where is Nakuru?
Where's Nakuru? You know,
Yeah,
where's St. Mary's?
Where's Maseno?
Where's Maseno? You know, but it's good for the game when
It's
you
good
have.
for the game, but these things change. You don't want to
Yes.
just have, okay, you can always maintain. So, like, I like this alliance is always there.
Yeah.
So, but some changes can happen.
That's true.
Yeah, it shows that the game is out there visually.
Exactly. So throughout the course of this week, the rugby games will be happening at Nairobi School. If you have something to do, if you do not have something to do, and even if you have something to do,
Spare some few hours.
spare some few hours, go to Nairobi School, watch what is happening in the local rugby scene and the high school rugby scene, because indeed, as Busale has said, the future stars of the game are going to be playing at the Nationals. Therefore, make a point of going to watch the Nationals at Nairobi School throughout the course of the week. Takes us Hong Kong Sevens.
Wow.
This has just wrapped up. And Gus, you have the
Results?
the results real quick. Just tell us what happened.
Kenya, we started off with Canada.
Yes.
We faced Canada, we lost that game narrowly.
Yes.
17-14.
Yes.
Then went on to face South Africa. They hammered us 35-10.
Yes.
Then Kenya went on to beat France 29-12, which pushed us to the Challenge Cup.
Yes.
Series we finished third in the group. We played the quarterfinals. We faced Japan, one of them 24-17. Went on to fix Russia 24-5. Sadly, we lost the final
Yes.
to Scotland.
Yeah.
21-19 for
21-19
Scotland.
for Scotland. I would want to add, by the way, just before we go on, before we talk about the guys, I would want to mention the Lionesses' results real quick. They beat Hong Kong 24-21. They lost to Belgium 5-7. Then, of course, they beat Argentina 17-7. Taking them on to the main cup quarters, which they lost to Italy. Therefore, they are not going to be a main core team.
Yeah, that was it was only between the two, I think.
Exactly.
One of them.
Yeah, but anyway,
Also want to mention,
yes,
Spain is now a core team
in the men's. Yes, in the men's. So also, it's just a quick mention that I think the boys played well. They in the final, they had a couple of unfortunate calls that went. Then the tide swung to Scotland. But anyway, that's sports. As
They
you
should
say.
have been in the quarters.
They should,
man.
they should have been the main quarters. But anyway, they're in Singapore next week. Therefore, the boy, you guys need to support the Kenya Shujaa team.
They're the defending champions.
They're the defending Singapore champions, so we need to support them as they play in Singapore next week. Super Rugby results, real quick. Hurricanes versus the Tars. The Waratahs 38-28 to Hurricanes. I might add that Barrett brothers were on the score. Sunwolves beating somebody's team, the Blue Bulls 21-20. We have the Highlanders versus the Blue Bulls 26-20. We have Brumbies versus the Reds 43-10. We have Sharks versus the Jaguars or Jaguares 18-13. We have the Stormers beating the Chiefs in a very entertaining game at Newlands in Cape Town 34-26. And the Western Force versus Kings, high scoring game of 46-41. And we also need to add that the Crusaders, Cheetahs, Lions and the Melbourne Rebels had a bye this week, therefore they didn't play this week. Quick mention, Sanza, who are the governing body for Southern Hemisphere Rugby, have now said that the team is going to be 15. The teams that are going to be playing, they're taking it back to 15. Yeah, exactly, from 18 teams. There are going to be 3 conferences, New Zealand, Australia, and South Africa. Also, to add on to that, fantasy, Super Rugby Fantasy. We have our Fantasy League, the 3 Quarters podcast. The URL and the code is running at the bottom of your screen right now. So join the Super Rugby Fantasy, let us compete, and let us see who are actually excellent managers. Episode 19, part 2 of the 3 Quarters podcast. As always, we ask you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We ask you guys to like our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. This is Nash, your official noisemaker.
Jeringus Kenyana.
Stay tuned for part 3.